one of Oregon's top recruiting coaches, he asked this simple question. And she goes, "That's so stupid." It's like, well, I mean, I get the merit, but
Yeah, it's
also,
testing the decision, like just how quick can you make decisions on the fly, I guess.
yeah,
And
but
that is a big thing.
is a football decision as easy as vanilla or chocolate?
Throw the ball or run the ball. What you gonna do? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Western Front again. We've been gone for a little bit. We're back. We were in San Francisco to watch the
The
Giants
Yankees win.
beat the Yankees.
That's not what happened. Go look at it. That's a sweet baby. Get the brooms out.
But yeah, we got some time in San Francisco, but we are back and ready to talk some college football as much as we can before spring games kind of start happening over the next couple of weeks. And we are so close to spring ball.
Well, this Saturday.
It's
On
so
YouTube
close.
TV this Saturday, the black and gold game. Hopefully there's no fights. Their quarterback tackled somebody today. I don't know if you saw that video.
I did not see it.
Yeah, he tackled somebody during a brawl today, and he was clapping in some defender's face, and he's like, "I love this stuff." Except he didn't say stuff.
Colorado's a mess. Colorado's a mess. They will not have a winning record again this year. There's just no.
Maybe they should come back to the Pac-12. They'll still lose.
I don't want. Personally.
Just options. Gotta
Yeah.
keep your options open.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. There hasn't been a ton of news in the last couple of weeks here, but I think one of the biggest things that's happened that's kind of been in the works is the transfer portal changed a little bit. Back a few months ago, they said that there was just the one transfer portal deadline after the season, and so everybody, 3,000 people went into the portal. You didn't have your school by the time the deadline hit, which is just before the championship game. You couldn't join another team. Then he kind of came out of like, oh, well, people are going to do this blind transfer is what they call it. And we saw it with, some players last year where it's like, hey, the school's not going to let me transfer, or the portal's already closed and they realized that they went to the school, they're not going to get a spot on the team. So they unenroll at a school, re-enroll at the other school, and start playing as like a walk-on. And so it's happened more frequently, and the NCAA finally kind of put their foot down, and it's being proposed. I guess it's not like fully in place. I'm guessing it will be because they need to do something, but it's anytime a student athlete or if a school signs a transfer student athlete after that deadline, before they could have entered the portal, like they didn't enter the portal, they sign a transfer, they do this blind transfer thing, somebody that left their school and is there are going to be penalties that are automatically triggered, which include a suspension of the sports head coach for 50% of the season and a fine of 20% of the sports budget. And this is like across the board sports, not just football. So Division I, every sport, I'm all for it.
I mean, in basketball specifically, we see coaches get like 3 or 4 games at the beginning of a season. I mean, we've seen Michigan. They've got suspensions at the beginning of a year with the scandals that had happened. So I think something had to be done because it's out of hand. And everybody's saying it's out of hand. Doesn't matter who you talk to. It's out of hand.
Well, it's not even just the portal. The portal is definitely part of it, and but it's NIL. NIL drives the portal. It's all of that, and now you're looking into like, now people want more years. They're looking at potentially making it that, everybody just gets 5 years, no red shirts, no waivers. Like it's just 5 years. You get 5 years, and that's what it is. I don't know. I know Division II struck that down, so I don't know. There's still some work to do there, but I definitely think that they got to figure out something. They got to it's the way that it's shifting into like a minor league, essentially, of the NFL, where it's like you're going to start having salary caps. You're going to start, who knows, you'll probably start seeing trades in college football. And essentially is what this is like, hey, yeah, you give us this guy and we'll give you that guy. It's kind of like the portal. I mean, we're not far off from that, but the NCAA is going to have to put restrictions in place, kind of like the NFL or anyone else does with free agency of like, hey, here's the deadline. Here's when it opens. Here's the deadline. Anything outside of that doesn't go, and put some boundaries in place.
Do you have to start paying coaches more? You
I mean, they
imagine?
already are.
No, I know that, but like, if Nick Saban was the highest paid coach when he was coaching, you have players that are now making 2 times more than that in any
Yeah,
of the
I
sports.
mean, it's kind of like you look at the pros, right? I don't think the coaches aren't ever making anything close to the
That's
players.
true.
I don't know if that'll ever be a thing. I think there's some coaches that
Yeah,
probably deserve that, but
sure.
Saban, you said Saban as an example, but like he left coaching because of NIL. He didn't want to
Yeah,
navigate
he
the
didn't wanna deal with
landscape
it.
because yeah, you can't, you could have all the tradition, the history of the team, and no one's going to care as long as they don't get paid.
Right. I mean,
And it sucks,
you
but
could look up all the memes you want, all over Twitter, all over TikTok. They're everywhere. They're hilarious,
yeah,
but the sad part is they're true.
yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things we'll see, like, does it benefit teams? And it has benefited teams, but will we continue to see the divide of the G6 being a feeder into the Power Four, and then,
Right.
so on and so forth? I think it'll still kind of like be how it has been. We've definitely gotten a lot more players that will come down from P4 into the
True.
G6. So it just depends. I think it'll keep kind of going back and forth. But one of the big, as we're talking about the portal, it was announced today, I think, that Sam Levitt is, not former Arizona State quarterback Sam Levitt, now at UCLA, not UCLA, LSU. He's having surgery this spring. I was going to miss all of spring ball. So, that's a kind of a rocky start for them. He missed a lot of this year with an injury. So for a top guy in the portal coming out of the West that is now at LSU, it'll be interesting to see if he can stay healthy this year.
It's a tough paycheck to pay, but you got to do what you got to do. We see
It's
it
part of
all the
the
time.
risk, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially the guy that's injury prone.
well, I mean, we were talking about this even before we hopped on here. It was like Dylan Raiola. He's not. I wouldn't say he's injury prone by any means, but
No,
had a pretty major injury, and I can guarantee you, Oregon's had to have paid him more than Nebraska, and he's going to sit the bench. So that's a lot of money to pay for a backup quarterback in hopes that he stays next. Like, the hope is that, like, hey, he learns the offense, like kind of like what Dante Moore did. He sits behind for a year, he learns the offense, and then he goes. It would work really well. Like, that would benefit him a ton, but it's like, do you trust that someone else is USC going to come along next year? USC's been poaching Oregon recruits like crazy this spring. Are they going, like, they've been getting guys to flip all spring long, and it's the best thing ever because on social media they keep doing like, they have like green grass, and then they just like spray paint it red, and then it's like, no, they don't really say much, but it's like that's their sign that somebody flipped, or it's like a street light and it's like green, and then it like slowly just goes up to red, and it's like, I mean, what's to say that USC isn't going to go back and try to pay Raiola a bunch of money? Like, they're always after quarterbacks, and Lincoln Riley is a great quarterbacks coach.
The poaching thing is never going to get better.
That's like one of my favorite recruiting rivalries right now.
Well, I love how Dan Lanning goes so above and beyond for really big signings. And then you get the headline, oh, so-and-so flipped. And it's like, man,
Yeah,
Dan
like
Lanning flew out there. He brought you to
jumped in
his
a pool for
like,
somebody, and like,
Yep.
the
I
guy ended up
remember that one.
decommitting.
Yep. That's the one I was literally thinking of off the top of my head. I was like, that one is embarrassing.
Yeah, I saw something earlier today I want to say it was Oregon's offensive coordinator. He was basically like, when it comes to recruiting quarterbacks, he's like, I ask one question, and it's like, what's your favorite type of ice cream, chocolate or vanilla? And he's like, if there's any hesitation, he's like, I don't do any. He's like, that's it. I'm done recruiting, because he's like, if you can't make that decision right here, what are you going to do on third down in front of 100,000 people? And I was like, it's not a bad argument, but it's like, I don't know. It was kind of crazy.
Brought that up literally to my wife today.
Did you?
I said one of Oregon's top recruiting coaches, he asked this simple question. And she goes, "That's so stupid." It's like, well, I mean, I get the merit, but
Yeah, it's
also,
testing the decision, like, just how quick can you make decisions on the fly, I guess,
yeah,
and
but
that is a big thing.
is a football decision as easy as vanilla or chocolate?
Throw the ball or run the ball, what you gonna do? If you're a
I
quarterback rolling
guess.
out, you're gonna throw the ball, try to fit it like, let's say you're the 15-yard line, you're rolling out, game on the line, are you gonna try to squeeze it into the corner, or are you just gonna take off and run?
I'm gonna throw a pick like BYU did against Boise State a few years ago. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's what Drew Aller did against Oregon. It's like
Yep.
Mendoza had the same opportunity, but he took it and ran, and, like,
Correct.
that was a clutch play. So it's like, it silly of a question as it sounds like, there's lots of moments that I'm like, you know what? Sometimes it is that simple. Like, are you gonna make the easy throw, or are you gonna
Make a
overthink
play,
it and
right? Mm-hmm.
you're gonna overthink it and try to force it somewhere you don't need to? Who knows?
Yeah. Well, if you see any more recruitment flips, tag us somewhere. We'll react to it. It'll be great, especially if
Fortunately,
it's yeah,
I say unfortunately, Dan Lanning has not offered Brad a
not yet.
scholarship to
You
Oregon
guys
yet.
aren't sharing enough yet, apparently.
Therefore, USC will not offer him until Oregon offers him, and he will then flip to USC.
Yes, I will. But Dan, you can still send me one.
Just remember, Dan, he's flexible.
I
He can
super,
stretch.
I promise. Speaking of flexible, Oregon State has already started flexing their recruiting. Now, I don't know how much recruiting, I know it matters, but we're still a year out from when this kid is going to graduate. So they just landed a wide receiver commit, Jackson Batch, during this spring cycle for the 2027 class. And he's one of the earliest recruits in the 27 class that is committed so far. Now, I know a lot of high schools have their spring ceremonies, their commitment ceremonies.
Yeah.
And things like that. So we'll start seeing some more, especially for the smaller teams too. Not that Oregon State's a small team, but for smaller teams, we'll probably start seeing a lot more. But we'll see. I hope this kid is as good as Oregon State thinks he is, and hopefully we'll see him on the field in 2 years. Yeah, 2 seasons.
Yeah, I feel like, pretty solid 3-star. He had offers from Washington State, Colorado State, New Mexico, and San Diego State. A lot of other teams in the West that really wanted him, and he's a West Coast kid, California. So, and you never know, he could flip at any
To
time.
USC.
Probably not, but like, you just never know. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like until the guy has signed the piece of paper, even if he signed the piece of paper, like, you just don't know until he's on campus.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to be like, yeah, this guy's for sure locked in. So it'd be interesting to follow on, but they definitely got a jump on it. So will it help them turn it around? I still think they're a couple into a couple year rebuild. So they can hopefully start that this year.
Okay, you mentioned something earlier.
Yeah.
You said that there could be trades in college football.
Mm-hmm.
What is one player that you would trade from Boise State to another college for a different player? No money involved. Player for player trade. Who is it?
Maddox, Madsen.
Okay. 4.
That's what I'm trying to think of. I mean, if we're like no restrictions, whatever, like probably like the one that makes sense, will be like, it doesn't make sense, but I would say like Sam Levitt, like somebody like that, a quarterback that's a little bit like still mobile, like Maddox, a little bit bigger, that just has a little bit more touch on the ball. I think, like, I still think that's the kind of the missing piece for Boise. I don't think either that, or it's like, can they go to get, like, going out and getting a big wide receiver would be huge.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, like somebody like Danny Scudero, who went to Colorado, like somebody like that. We just don't like have a guy that it used to be like the Khalil Shakirs, the Matt Millers, the Spurbecks, like guys that you just knew when that ball went their way, they were going to catch the ball. They weren't the fastest guys, they weren't the flashiest guys, but like that ball was there, you knew it was going to get caught. We just don't really have that right now. So I want a guy like that. That's probably, probably more so than Maddox. I still believe in Maddox. I think Maddox is great enough, good enough. He'll be good. We haven't been awful with him, but you need playmakers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he can get the ball where it needs to be as long as you need a playmaker. If you don't have a guy that can go up and contest a catch, like you can have the best quarterback in the world, you still need a guy like a Charlie Becker of Indiana who's going to go up and make these crazy contested catches. Like you need somebody like that. And honestly, like Charlie Becker is the guy. That's who I would want. Now that I'm thinking about it, like I would trade, I don't care who it is, trade anybody for Charlie Becker because he fits that mold. He fits like the Matt Miller and the Thomas Spurbeck. Like he just gets up and gets open and gets the ball in the clutch moments. So that's probably who I'd want.
Boise State, when trades become legal in college football and in the NCAA, hire Sky to be your trade master.
Oh, okay? I'd probably be awful, dude.
No, you'd be great. You're already like, recruit now. You're fine.
I want this crazy guy, and I'll give you nothing. Give him, like, come on.
If it works in NCAA, it should work here, right?
Crazy thing that it's like, when you think about the trades, it'll be interesting because it's like, what do you trade? You trade in cash? Like, because there's not picks. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's not picks or anything. So it's like, that's like one of, like, what is NIL money, like, cash essentially is like the currency that is most, like, the capital that is closest to draft picks that I would think of. Because otherwise it's like player for player trades. And you might not always be able to make that trade. It's like if LSU, for example, wanted Jeremiah Smith, like Ohio State is not going to just across the board trade Jeremiah Smith for anybody. So it's like throw in $5 million plus your top player. Like, I don't know.
Throw in your top donor, send them to that school instead for a year.
Yeah. That'd be crazy. What about you? If you had to have a trade, do you have anybody on your mind that you would want to go out and get?
Let's see. Go out and get. Honestly, I also thought of trading Maddox, but I would want
for a quarterback
him,
or for somebody else?
For a quarterback, a true freshman out of BYU. We had his brother on the team.
I don't want to.
I mean, his true freshman season, he did pretty well, I would say.
He's good, and it's like it's the same thing that I'm like. BYU just has the playmakers that can make, like, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he's good. But if he makes a mistake, he has guys that can bail him out. If Maddox makes a mistake, nobody's bailing Maddox out. And I think that's the thing that, like, fans are like, and it frustrates me quite a bit where they're like, oh, like Maddox sucks. What are you talking about? The offensive line either lets him get hit either holds or lets him get hit 5. Like, there's nobody helping him. He'll make a great play, somebody will make a great catch, and then there's a holding penalty, and then the next play, it's like 3 drop balls. Like, you gotta have playmakers around you. So that's a good one. That's a good pick.
I really do like watching that kid play. I don't love watching BYU football, but I really
I'd be curious,
watching him play.
Yeah, I'll be curious if he sticks around, and obviously I think he probably will.
BYU's got enough money.
Yeah, and you just never know.
Their NIL fund is not going to deplete anytime soon.
Even if it's not, like, I think for some, their basketball team's cheeks.
Well, I know that, but they are one of the highest paid rosters for being cheeks.
Yeah, they're backed by the ODS Church. You got a lot of money involved. The thing with, like, Bachmeier will be like, and I think with him and BYU, it's kind of like with I don't think it always becomes about the money for some guys. Like, Gentile was the thing is, like, if you become loyal to a fan base, but he's not a big guy. I'm not saying that, like, it's kind of like Maddox. Like, it's the number one question, and nobody bats an eye with Bachmeier because they're winning. As soon as they stop winning, then that's what everyone's going to point to again. And I don't think it's the number one issue. Kyler Murray's a great example of it. Like, he was very mobile and very good. He was a great passer in college, and he wasn't the biggest guy. Bachmeier's very mobile. He's much more mobile than Maddox.
Right.
It'll just be interesting to see what happens as he continues to mature and become a better quarterback. Because, like you said, just like Hank back in the day, like, true freshman season, Hank went in and beat Florida State on the road, like he had some good things, and then he obviously hit the portal, went to Louisiana Tech, and then Wake Forest. So,
well, his downfall was the kid wouldn't slide. And also,
he would get hurt
his
he would take big
brother
hits all the time.
also took some big hits last season that made people really fall in love with him, right? We love when quarterbacks want to get physical, but
It's the same thing with Talon, when Talon would hurdle guys, and it's like, he's going to get hit. He's going to get hurt. Hank used to, I remember watching Hank get concussed a couple times because he would wait, and it's like not the first hit, but it's like he's being hit like this, and then it's the next guy that comes in and hits him up top, and when you lose your starting quarterback, you're done for. So it's like there's a very big fall off in college football. Usually. That's not always the case, but some guys just show up and play really good for a half that they come in. They might not be able to be sustainable as a starter, but they could come in and like Cutforth. When Cutforth came in against Air Force, played great, but he was not going to be sustainable for the years. You never know.
One play I always think of when I think of Bachmeier is the one where he tried to do a spin move and got obliterated and fumbled. That's the one. That was like I don't know if it was one of the last games that he played for us, but that was a tough one.
That was the rough stretch where they went 2-2. They lost to Oregon State. They lost at UTEP, and Avalos got fired.
At UTEP.
He left and then McAllister left not long after that, and that was the era of Talon. So you never know. You never know.
And now he's going to be a top draft pick. So there you go.
I still don't think he'll be a top
Ravens, pick him up.
I do think that could be a great place for him.
I would love that for him. I really do.
It's just tough because I'm like,
last month.
I just don't know if he'll be able to like how often do you see the field? But Lamar's kind of injury prone. Huntley usually sees the field a little bit.
Yeah.
So he does fit the mold.
Yeah, he fits the Lamar mold. Like he can.
Well,
Lamar
even Tyler Huntley,
yeah,
their backup, like it's the exact same style of play. But Harbaugh is not there. Does the style of play change with the new coaching staff and stuff? Like, I don't know. That'll be interesting to see. I doubt it does, because you can't expect Lamar to change who he is and how he plays the game. So
you got to give the ball to Derek at least 20 times in a game. That guy's a freight train. His college highlights, those are so fun to watch. They are absurd.
He's an absolute beast.
Like if I could make $1 billion and get tackled one time by him, I would do it. I'd probably die.
I think I'd rather get hit by Genty.
Like, so you save your life or what?
No, I just I think I'd rather I don't think I'm making it out of either one very well. I don't know, dude.
Literally.
Who has the harder punch? Henry or Genty? Genty's a little younger. Henry's still up. Henry's got the size, but I feel like Genty's still like.
You have an inch on Genty. I don't. I'd be eye level with the dude.
Yeah.
We're the same height.
I feel like that would make it harder for me.
Same build?
Yeah. Tell me, guys, is that the same? If let us know if Brad and Genty have the same build. Yeah. Have you seen him?
Yeah,
You've seen him lately.
He's so ripped, bro. Holy dude.
But yeah, no, for real. You guys got the same build. You got him.
Thanks,
you
bro.
Could take him.
Appreciate that.
You could take him. He just runs through grown men every day. You got it.
Carries them on his back when the Raiders' offensive line doesn't do anything. He had the most yards before the scrimmage line. Is that right? Is that
most yards after majority of his yards came after contact? It's insane. Yeah,
everybody said he was trash.
Yeah, it's the same thing at Boise State. You know what? People still said he was trash in the season. It's like, if you thought he was trash, you did not look at the stats, because he's getting hit behind the line every time and still breaking runs. But his yards after contact alone were more than some Derrick guys' full seasons. It was
more than Derrick Henry's for sure. Not full season, but for his after contact.
Yeah, yards after contact.
At least the Ravens can hold the line.
Well, they got him some pieces this year. We'll see what happens.
I'm so excited for them.
Yeah.
UNLV fans, Go to a Raiders game because it's the only team that matters in your stadium.
Yeah, go to the real stadium. Like, the people that actually
Go
own the
watch the
stadium.
former
You guys
Boise State
don't
player
own the stadium.
who dominated you play for your team.
I bet you they're not actually very.
No, probably not.
They're
They're
too new
probably
to LA.
yeah, Rams.
It's got to be
Probably.
it's
They all love Stanford.
maybe.
He's good.
Why would they like Stafford? Just cause?
Yeah, he wins.
Yeah.
He's loyal.
Yeah, that's true. Stuck with the
Anyway.
Lions forever.
Gentry's
Anyway,
still
we
better than
gotta.
anybody UNLV's ever had. Okay, I got that.
Yeah,
out of the system.
I'm with that. The SP Plus rankings early drop have come out now,
Sweet.
and this is all 138 teams
Dang.
from 134. We got 4 new teams. We've already
Spoiler
covered that.
alert,
If you
Sac
don't
State's
know
at
who
the
those
bottom.
don't know who those teams are, what that looks like, we covered it a couple weeks ago. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Basically, if you guys don't know, the SP Plus it's a little different than strength of schedule. It's kind of like an efficiency rating of tempo, opponent adjusted stuff. So it's like the main 4 factors that they're looking at are returning production, recent history, recruiting, and coaching changes. So it's not like hey, this team is better, like just head to head better than this team. It's not like a overall strength of schedule ranking or anything like that, but it does give a decent idea as to where these teams could land. It's not going to say like, hey, we look at these teams right now, this is going to be the top 25. That's not necessarily true, but it's going to tell you, hey, these teams are going to be the like as it looks right now early on, could be the more productive teams. So it's going to take offensive, defense, and special teams combined. That's how you get the overall ranking. They also rank offense, defense, special teams separately. Unsurprising, Ohio State's number 1, Oregon's number 2, Notre Dame's 3, Georgia 4, Indiana 5. That's our top 5. Obviously, it makes a little bit of sense. Indiana lost who they did. They dropped down. Oregon's pretty much, they had a lot of returning. They have the number 1 offense returning. They rate their defense 3. So out of the West Coast, Oregon is our top team at number 2. The next West team, if we're counting Big 12, it's Texas Tech at 7. If we're looking at Western conferences, but if we're looking specifically West Coast teams, USC is at 13, and then BYU at 18, Washington at 21, Utah at 25, Arizona at 30, Boise State at 39. So that's like, they have Boise State right now as it stands, like way too early. Boise State's looking like the top G6 team, G5 team, sitting at 39. Does that mean they're going to come out ranked around 39? Like, I doubt that they will. I bet there will be another team ranked a little bit higher than them in terms of the G5. We'll just see. Could be Memphis. This isn't going to be. Yeah, like this isn't going to be a direct over top 25, but it is a pretty good list of like, hey, where do they stand realistically out of 138 teams? Boise sitting about 39. That's not awful. That's probably about where I think they would be right now. Like, given how they ended the season, they didn't bring in a ton of portal talent. They brought in a lot of the core that they got to stick around. I'll be curious to see what happens. Their offense is ranked 43, defense 46. So we'll see.
Offensive line.
Special team in 93, which definitely was a struggle. Not great. What are your key? I mean, do you have any key takeaways that you've seen from this? Obviously, there's a lot more West teams that we need to cover, but like
for sure,
the gap, like if you look at like just the Pac-12 Mountain West, that gap, it's like Boise State at 39, and then UNLV at 59, like 20 spot
20
gap.
Gaps. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody knows the Boise State number 1 brand does go into this I mean, we are the biggest G5, G6 brand that's out there. So we are always going to be preseason anything. Boise State's always in the mix. We are one of the only G5s, G6s in the West that actually kept their quarterback.
Yeah.
Because 90% of them leave.
Yeah. Which favors, and I mean, it
Correct.
obviously depends on who you ask, but it is an advantage.
But is it a little crazy that we didn't bring anybody in?
Yeah. Yeah, and I
Like,
think
what?
part
You have
of it
nobody
is,
challenging him besides the guys that were already here and a freshman?
yeah. I think there's two things to it. Of one, there's the loyalty to Maddox that that
Correct.
everyone knows. And I think that's what they'll always say. But I think there's also the side they don't want to say, and that they just don't have the budget and money to bring in a top quarterback.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be part of it. They don't have the overall budget to go get a Sam Levitt, like to get a top guy out of the
Yeah.
portal and feel good about it. I think that with the budget they have, there's nobody else in the country that will pay Maddox what Boise State is paying Maddox. I
That's
guarantee
fair.
it.
Yeah.
So the amount that they're paying him, it's probably like, hey, well, what we could go get to the less, they're not going to pay anybody the equivalent. So it's like, if you give to go get somebody for a little less, you're probably not bringing anybody in that's going to beat Maddox, who knows the offense. It was the same thing with Malachi Nelson. He just knows the offense.
Boise, can we spend a little bit of cash on a wide receiver? Just
I
a
agree.
little.
When they went and got Cam Camper, that was one of the best. Like, I was kind of questionable at Cam Camper. Dude had a 1,000-yard season and was clutch and wasn't all that flashy, but he was reliable and he was solid. That was awesome. Like, that was a great pickup. Chris Marshall could have been that, and I'm still sad that one didn't work.
Yeah. Okay. Another big takeaway I have is, why are we so high on UNLV? They have
It's
one of
just,
the highest turnover teams every year. And again,
it's
I
the
will keep
same
saying
thing
it,
of like,
the island of misfit toys.
yeah, it's the same thing of just like, they bring in names, they bring in former 5 stars like Justin Flo, entered the portal and he came back. He decided to pull his name out of the portal. So it's just, they have Jackson Arnold, who, I bet UNLV fans are like, man, we have this guy who played in the SEC. And it's like, I'm sorry, Jackson Arnold is awful. This dude is not good. He couldn't play. He got benched at both schools. So it's like, I look at that and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't get it. And it might be that the Mountain West is just very bad, and they are, and they're one of the only teams left. Well, just like this year, like their strength of schedule, like their schedule was pretty bad, and they started off the year undefeated until they played Boise, and it's like, man, I was like, you guys almost lost to Idaho State. You almost lost to Sam Houston. It's just like they just kept sneaking by, and then as soon as they played a real team, it got shown. And so that's the only thing I can think of, is that people are just like, yeah, they're going to be able to be a 1 or 2 loss team based on their schedule, or this is what they're at. They also lost Calandria, and I don't think Jackson Arnold, like, I'm not the biggest Calandria fan, but he was dynamic, and I don't think Jackson Arnold is even that dynamic.
Right.
Jackson Arnold's not going to be able to run around the field like Calandria was, so I don't quite understand it. Like, there's going to be some questions sooner or later. I don't think they're like, they believe they're the Boise State. They're going to be the next Boise State. I don't think they're going to be a winning team every single year. It's not sustainable.
Hard to say when the culture around, I think, number one, it's hard to coach at a school like Las Vegas for that reason specifically.
Yeah,
like how
there's
we
a
don't
ton of
see
distractions.
how we don't see what we see with Georgia football. Yeah,
Dude,
UNLV.
imagine if Georgia football was in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
they would have no
cooked.
team. It would be like the longest yard, dude, like the prison team. That's what this would be. But yeah, no, to your point, like, there's so many distractions, and part of me still wonders, like, it's got to be a thing. Like, there's no way that isn't.
Well, I know they have
distracting.
I thought I saw that they have maybe like a penthouse for the football players to live in and things like that. Don't quote me, but I've definitely seen articles about things like that, where whether it's a recruitment visit that they come and they're like, ooh, we'll put you up in a really fancy penthouse. And And I'm sure other teams do that too. But it's just
I mean,
interesting
it's one of
how
those. It's a really big it's a big draw to probably a lot of kids. Like being able to be in Vegas, like you got guys that probably come from smaller towns or like the East Coast. It probably is a big draw to be in a warmer climate and to be somewhere like Vegas.
until you realize how hot Las Vegas
It's
gets.
yeah, it's
Holy cow, dude.
crazy.
Like people that go to Arizona, at least they know that's happening.
Yeah, it's kind of like that's the thing that that's the fact that they've had to play at Boise for the Mountain West Championship the last 3 years in the freezing cold every year is that they just don't know how to adjust to it.
They play in a
And
dome.
there's that too. But like, even if they didn't, like the weather would be nice. It'd be nice out. Whereas like Boise State, like you get 100-degree spring, like summer ball and beginning of the season, and then you end up playing in 30 and 20-degree weather at the end. So like you get a little bit of both.
Yeah. Where did Colorado fall on this list?
That is a great question.
I realized the one that I made from different things that I saw, I forgot them.
Colorado's sitting at 65. So
They're
below
behind
UNLV,
UNLV. Okay.
head of New Mexico, head of Memphis, head of SDSU, head of NDSU.
I wouldn't put them above New Mexico.
I don't think I would either.
Maybe they're wide receivers just because of
You need a quarterback. You need a quarterback and you need leadership, and you just don't have it. Like I think Dion, everything looked great for the first couple years, but like there's nobody on that team that truly lead that team. And if you're fighting in practice at the very beginning of spring ball, like good luck. It's not a great way to start
I
the
don't know if
season
his
or the
health
program.
concerns are causing that for Dion as well, or if it's just
I bet it's one of his last years,
or his
regardless.
sons are gone, right? Like I don't
Well,
know.
that's what I'm saying. Like I think the media covered up a lot of the issues that were going on.
Didn't one of his sons get kicked off of 2 NFL squads? Not saying that your kids are a reflection of you, because Dion obviously had an amazing career, and he was very successful at the HBCUs. It's just a little bit different.
Yeah,
And
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
he has brought back Colorado football, just not winning. They're definitely on the forefront of everybody's mind now, but they just
I don't even know if they are anymore. I feel like after last year, like they kind of went back to old Colorado. Like
at least they
I
had
feel
more than
like
2 wins.
I know. I just feel like they just kind of are slowly falling back down to what everyone thinks of Colorado. Like the until they come out and win a bowl game, win
Be in a bowl game.
something. Yeah, like do something of significance. Like later on in the season, it's going to be tough. Like you can have all the wins up front, you can have a good record, but like until you can prove that you're either going to compete to win the Big 12, win a New Year's Six bowl or something like that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to like say you're back necessarily.
If you let Kansas football go in and beat you at home, you got some issues.
That's true.
I'm
But
just saying.
right below Colorado, like you said, New Mexico's at 68, but then it's like this stack of like Memphis, SDSU, NDSU, all right there, and then Stanford just not far below them. So it is interesting when the further you get down this list, where you get a lot of these like Pac-12 Mountain West schools mixed in with like Stanford, Boston College, Purdue. Like
Purdue
you start to
is
get
ranked higher than very many teams.
they're 82.
That's really all right. East Coast bias. You ready? Hawaii should not be 84. I'm sorry. If we're looking at what they did last year, they're just going to be better.
Do you believe that Army could beat Purdue though?
I
Or
definitely
not
think
Army, Hawaii.
both. Put Army and both those games, make them happen. Yeah.
I don't know
Make
if Hawaii
Purdue
could
go
go
down to the new stadium when it gets built. Okay.
No, I'm
Have
saying
the
like right now,
biggest crowd you've ever had.
but the
I
thing
know.
is they won't fill that stadium.
They might.
I don't think they will.
They might rally around it.
It's gonna look great. I just don't think they'll fill it. And I
think
think that's
yes.
just
Right
based on
now,
location.
you give me what Hawaii looked like last season, you give me what Purdue looked like last season, trash, then yeah, of course Hawaii's going to beat them. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they're going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Stanford's 75. They beat Stanford. They play Stanford again. I feel like once you get to this point, 75 and on, like,
It's
you know,
all a jumble.
it's tough. Like, yeah, you get to this point and I mean, it really is, no matter what, it's a guessing game. Like, the only
Yeah,
thing
what
I
are we
look at
rating?
that's what I'm saying. It's like, I mean, we talked about this a little bit, you know, earlier in the day, but like, if they were to do if the strength of schedule was to come out, or if you were to look at that and it's like, you know, similar to the NFL where everyone's like, well, you know, you look at the Patriots and stuff like that and the Seahawks and like, well, they didn't play anybody. And it's like, are you looking at like, what are you defining by strength of schedule? You're usually defining the year before. The NFL,
Right.
it's easier to do that. But like, you look at college football and say like, hey, strength of schedule, we're going to compare everybody's season last year, and that's going to determine your strength of schedule this year. And it's like, okay, what happens? Like obviously anybody that plays Indiana is going to be boosted,
Right.
but they've lost their entire core. Obviously they've replenished it, but you don't know what that looks like. Like,
Yeah.
there's just so much turnover on all of these teams that you just like, it's the same. And it's kind of the same thing that the issue I have with the preseason top 25 rankings is like, for the first 4 weeks, sets up everybody for the entire season. If you beat a top 10 ranked opponent who is actually not a top 10 opponent, like
Right.
a team. It's the same thing with like Georgia Tech happened last year when they beat Kansas State, who was ranked way too high. And it was like the same thing when they beat Florida State, who ended up being really bad. And it's like, or even Texas and Ohio State, 1 versus 2. And I was like, I don't think Ohio State should be ranked number 1, but because they beat a number 2 team, or Texas, everyone's like, oh, they lost to number 1 Ohio State. It's like, nobody at that point, there's not much to go off of. It's a guessing game.
Maybe we
I
shouldn't
don't
have
think
a
that,
rank system until
I think you should
midway
rank
through.
teams until like week 4.
I'd be down for that.
There's no way to look at it and be like, no, this is like actually what this team is, because otherwise what happens is you have somebody like a Florida State a couple years ago who's ranked number 5, number 8, number 9, who then an unranked team beats, and now all of a sudden, because they beat a top 10 team, they're going to be automatically ranked, and they're going to be ranked pretty well, and they're going to have a top 10 win on their resume, even if that team then goes on to lose 8 games in a row. Like, they beat a top 10 team.
That
There's just
thing
no
collapsed. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's no good way of judging it. Oh, it's kind of looking like, that's what I think of when I look at this list, where I'm just like, Utah State at 97, even Colorado State at 99. I don't think they should be that low. I don't think they should be like super high by any means, but I don't think they should be that low. Like Nevada
They're not last.
is 100. They're 112.
They're not last though.
Like, I know they were really bad.
Can I predict the last team? Kent State.
Do you know who the last team is, or no?
I actually don't. No, they were just bun cheeks.
No, it's not.
They were so bad.
But I'm saying, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, you look at like Nevada, who really was bad, but I'm like,
They were super bad.
But I watched their true freshman quarterback play against Boise, even. I was like, he's good. Give him another year. Like, he'll be better. He can't get any worse. So like a team like that had 1 win, I'm just like, there's no way they can get that much worse. And I might be wrong. Akron has shown that over the years. Kent State's shown that, like.
Well, come on, man. Akron can't even get their academics in check. How are we gonna get
Akron?
And Miami's got people not going to class, but Akron can't get anybody to turn in their assignments. That's what's happening over there.
Where do you think Delaware is ranked?
Dude, I love Delaware.
I was gonna say, nobody's gonna know this, but Brad is a like low-key Delaware.
Invite me out, Delaware. You know that on NCAA football, I won that championship. Not on.
He did not. He did not win that championship. Side note, we've played online dynasties, a bunch of different online dynasties in college football 2026. Brad has been devoted to Delaware in 2 separate
Hawaii.
stints. He went to Hawaii as well, but Delaware specifically,
Mm-hmm.
undefeated or 1 loss, and he always ends up at 13 or 12 and gets left out of the playoff by like 1 spot. Without a
Absolutely
doubt,
rigged.
does not matter. He could go undefeated and be left out of the playoff. So, Delaware, if you are ever close, we are rooting for you.
We are. Let's see. My guess is Delaware. If I'm looking at, they probably disrespected them too.
They're low. They're low. They're low.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that they're just below Wyoming at 107.
114. So you're not too far off.
Okay. They're under Nevada. Hey, at least they're not under UTEP. UTEP. What are we doing?
I'm trying to find it.
Holy. UTEP's 115. That's what I looked at earlier today.
I mean, Delaware was 7-6 last year.
Yeah, they made a bowl though. Well, they won the bowl game if they're 7-6.
Kennesaw State was 10-4. It'll be interesting. Like Missouri State's 126. I mean, they were the same. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. UTEP at 129 doesn't surprise me. They were pretty bad.
125.
That one does surprise me.
Little low for that's a little low for a former MAC school. If State is above you, there's a problem. And New Mexico State's at 120.
Sac State's not above Northern Illinois.
They're not?
No, they're 130.
But it's not like
a ton. I mean, it's still, that's way closer. You're telling me Sac State's 130. Like, they're telling me there's 8 teams worse than Sacramento State. I don't know if I buy that.
Kent State's worse, aren't they?
I mean, they have them rated better, but like Northern Illinois, I feel like, coming off, obviously there's the coaching changes and stuff like that, but like they've not been a bad program. They're usually they're
an invite to the Mountain West
or more
because they're not a bad program.
Yeah, so I feel like that's pretty low. I would expect them to.
Dang, what happened to Charlotte? My gosh.
Yeah.
How are you ranked below UMass? How are we ranked below these teams that had no wins?
The lowest team here is Charlotte. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I know what UMass did, but
I know that our buddy
Charlotte's
would be really happy that Sam Houston is 136, but really? The team with no wins last year is not dead last. You know what?
Yeah.
Let's make our own.
So according to, I'll run through this real fast, but according to ESPN, the largest projected improvements are the number 1 is Oklahoma State. They're plus 21.7 adjusted points per game.
State.
Yep. So that's part of it. I don't think that it's again, does not make them Big 12 favorites, does not do any of that, but it could mean they're top 40. Virginia Tech went plus 19.2, UCLA plus 13.6, Syracuse 12.1.
Who had a really good season.
They did not, but Brad thought they did. I had to go back and remember. I was like, we definitely talked about this, and I don't think that was true.
Yeah, it was one of our first clips. Go look at one of our first clips. That one's pretty peak. That's pretty cinema.
Yeah, watch Brad backpedal into saying that he just likes the mascot because he couldn't remember what the schedule was.
Played spoiler to themselves.
Oregon State's interesting. They're plus 9.5 there, and one of the top 10, largest projected improvements. And I'll read this exactly what it says.
I was just reading
from ESPN. The Beavers were the most unlucky team in college football last year, and they were also quite terrible.
I've never read that from a beat reporter like that. That is that's awful.
So, I think anything that they do this year will probably, I think that's what they're assuming. Hey, new coach, anything you do is going to be better than this. So I'm guessing that's where that comes from.
Is Colorado just there because of Deion Sanders?
I think so.
And their coordinator changes?
Yeah. Prove it on the field. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe it.
Did they get Muhammad Ali? Because it seems there's just like a fight club out there.
The only thing I'll say about like the largest projected regression, and it's one that I completely agree with, is that North Texas, negative 25.3. It's just like you lost everything.
Everyone.
So there's only 4. Like the roster there returns only 4 starters or 4 starts.
So
sorry,
tough.
not starters.
No, just people.
Their
backup kicker's probably there.
That's crazy. But as we look at it right now, you look at the average rating by conference, SEC number 1. A little bit of, like we say, there's always some SEC bias. Even though the Big Ten has won the football national championship, the men's basketball championship, and the women's basketball championship.
Yeah, the Big Ten's having a year.
And right now, UCLA in baseball is grinding. You never the Big Ten is definitely, I think, should be higher than that. But right now it's SEC, Big Ten, Big 12, ACC, Pac-12, Mountain West, American, Sun Belt, Conference USA, and the MAC. So I agree with a lot of that. I think the Pac being the top team, like that next spot out, that 5th conference makes a lot of sense.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I think that's not surprising. It's a little surprising to me that the Mountain West that the American is right below the Mountain West, and their average rating is the same. But I don't know. That one I could go either way on. I don't know. The American, like a lot of those top American teams, are in major rebuilds, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Sac State, that tanks your score.
Well, the MAC did.
Is that what you were saying? Oh, you're talking about
No,
the
sorry, the American, yeah.
But yeah, I was a little upset about the MAC
being at 10.
That's a little disrespectful.
Yeah, I definitely think
in my
Conference
eyes.
USA. I think Conference USA is probably below the MAC.
That's pretty tough. And
but
Charlotte, if you have the last team in the nation in your conference, you should be towards the bottom. Like you should be 9 or 10.
I'm just saying they're in the. And they're sitting there at 7. Like, yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. It is interesting. So, all right. Before we wrap up our time, we get some fun Ask Brad questions of the day. Got a couple for you today.
I closed out my thing. Do you see that?
I will let you pick.
What do you mean?
I don't
even see anyone.
Do you want a team question, or do you want a player specific question?
Let's try team.
All right. Which school snapped a 41-year conference title drought by winning the Pac-12 in 2021?
21 was the last year of the Pac, or was 22 the last year of the Pac?
It might have been 22. They went back to back.
Did they by chance win a different division this year? Or were they in their championship game?
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I can't tell. I couldn't. I'm trying to not blow the question by.
At first, before you said Pac, I was going to say Indiana, because a few weeks ago I stumbled on a question about them. Man.
They got to be up there.
Right. Purdue is probably up there.
But this is specifically, this team had a 41-year conference run.
That's insane.
This isn't the longest of all time. It might be, but it is
conference.
We got keeping it West Coast.
Yeah. All right. Obviously not Oregon. I feel like Washington State had a few good years. Washington's not up there either. I always overthink these questions.
That's the point, dude. I try to pick ones to stump you.
Not Colorado. They're trash. They probably still have the drought. 70-year drought coming in. Gosh.
It's a little surprising.
Be a fun pick. Yeah. I think I have a fun pick.
All right. Who's it? Lock it in.
All right. This could be really stupid. My answer is one that's not as obvious, but I think my fun pick is UCLA. I want to say that they had a weird little
41-year drought. No.
Dang it.
I bet they've won.
Probably. Yeah. I just thought their basketball team was so good in the
it's Utah
stuff. Freaking.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Brother, that's what I said first. That's what I wanted to know, because they were in their championship game this year in the Big 12. At least
I couldn't remember off the top of my head who was in the
Gosh,
Big who was
I
in the Big
literally
12
that was my
championship.
first thought. Gosh. All right, this time I'm just shouting out my first thought.
You've done that before and been close. Was it actually?
You saying that's actually a fact?
No, I'm trying to figure out. It was BYU. BYU and Texas Tech were in the championship game this year. I was like, I didn't think Utah. Like, that's why I was like, I didn't know for sure, but I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to say yes or no because I'm going to give you the answer. But no, they weren't in the championship, so there's that. All right.
It's another one gone.
Here's a question for you.
All right.
This is
Kellen Moore.
not related to football.
Okay. Aaron Judge.
This is a baseball question.
Okay.
Which franchise has been most successful in the wild card, or more successful in the wild card era at winning championships without being the number 1 seed?
That's a really good question, actually. In the wild card era. So the wild card era started in, talking the real wild, like the wild card that started previous, like.
I don't know what what the deadline is.
Yeah.
More recent. Let's say
I
like
would assume like the 10, new model.
probably.
I would, yeah. It's not the Yankees. We haven't won one since 2009. The wild card wasn't in like it is now. Dodgers have been the 1 seed too many times. Stupid recency bias is killing me right now because I'm like, the Rangers won it. That was like their only one.
I'm just gonna tell you straight up, it's the Giants.
When did it? Wait, okay, we got
2010, 2014.
Shoot, so it was that far back. For some reason, I was thinking much closer.
It's crazy. It is crazy to think that like that's 2010 was 16 years ago. That was the first title in that run.
Dang, that's wild.
This is strictly between this next question.
Okay,
we can end this way. Strictly between the Yankees and Giants.
We talking all time? That's gonna be a problem because they were the New York Giants. Okay, because the Yankees have never rebranded.
Modern, like, since the Giants have been in San Francisco and all that.
Okay.
Which team has won multiple playoff, I'm mixing up sports. Which team has won multiple World Series titles in a 5-year span more recently?
You. That's not a hard question.
2012 and 12-14.
It's been tough. Yeah, we made it to the dance against the Dodgers. Our errors flawed us. That 5th inning will always be in my head. Aaron Judge will never win a ring.
This could be your year.
The Dodgers are going to halt the baseball season next year.
I guess we'll see.
We'll have to see. But again, football question, did not get it.
No.
Nope.
I gotta find some. Yeah, I'm on the lookout for questions every week. So if anybody has questions they want to ask Brad, even if not football related, give us some random question and we will ask Brad. It doesn't have to be a trivia question.
Yeah,
we can just hear Brad's
Masters
thoughts.
start tomorrow.
That's true.
It's not just their practice round. It's their actual stuff.
I would love if Scotty could get another Masters win.
DeChambeau needs his first, bro. Give him his green.
I'm still rolling with Scotty. Scotty's my guy.
Chipping in, yeah. Arrested. Tiger's not playing this year. I wonder why.
He is not. Yeah. Wonder why. Many rollovers, I guess. Well, that ended a little differently than we probably planned on. Tune into the Masters. Keep up. We just finished March Madness. West Coast team won for women's March Madness. UCLA won their first national
title ever, which is shocking, actually.
Which is very shocking. I'm actually very surprised for a university that calls them the University of Champions. They have like a whole tagline that champions are made here, and it's like, man, I would have thought, and maybe it's just like the men's team. Even the men's team, like, hasn't been good in a while, but I always thought, like, man, their women's team's got to always be there. But this is the first time they ever made the Final Four, too, which is crazy.
Yeah. Their men's basketball coach hit some interesting pressers this year.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy, calling his team
Yeah.
out. He knew they weren't winning anything.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll be as spring games
Oof.
kind of happen over
Yep.
this weekend and next year,
Mhm.
we will be talking more about that next week and
Getting
looking forward to it.
closer and closer. Thank you for
Definitely.
tuning in. If you have not looked at our socials yet, we have socials everywhere, basically. So please check out our YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, formerly or X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the places. Interact with us. Tell us how stupid we are. Tell us that I'm yoked. Just those type of things.
Yeah, don't boost Brad's ego like that. Come on.
I need something as a teacher, man. Give me something.
Yeah, hit us up on all the socials. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.